Hello there, and welcome to another live stream. My name's Shane Olson, and today we're going to be sculpting this fun Dracula by my good buddy Adam Munoa. And I just need to get the image in here, so I'm just going to hit import and then go find it. Oh, not there. There it is. Okay, and we're going to throw it into, yeah, this guy's really fun. Look at this guy. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn off spotlight projection and we can get started. Hey Brad, how are you? What is happening? Hey Bobby, how's it going? Yeah, pretty fun, right? Goodness. I was working out in the yard trying to get some new garden beds built, helping my wife and mother-in-law out, and I hamburgered my wrist. I don't know if you can see it, but I drug my wrist across some bricks and it decided to chew it up. Okay, let me see here. Hey Devere, how are you? Okay, I just want to evaluate this concept really quick. I think I'm going to just stretch the sphere out the entire length of his head just to get that whole volume. We're going to do that instead of my traditional multi-sphere, you know? I'm going to lean this part back. Going good. How about you? Just working in 3D stuff while lurking. Awesome. Awesome. I don't have good luck with rocks. This is true. Oh, funny. So, just gonna pull this down and kind of back. Get that boomerang shape happening. Yeah, I'm pretty dang excited because I just got some images back and some video back from my buddy Derek from Lychee Slicer. He's also a photographer and he photographs models that he prints. And he printed some of mine, and there's some of them that he didn't print that he took pictures of. And he just sent it to me, and it's made me super happy. I love it. Love it, love it. Here, I'll show you. I don't know how good it would look on your screen here. Yeah, it's a pretty slow turn. But you have the afternoon off and hanging out in the Sculpt Hangouts. Awesome, Brad. That's great to hear. I almost joined you guys, but here, this is just the rear. There we go. Let me roll it back a little bit. Look at this lighting. Isn't that cool? You can see some of the support stuff, but let me rewind so you can see they kind of start on this side. There's a lot of support damage that I gotta sand. I need to make these better. Yeah. How cool though, right? This is a print. This is a 3D print. All of these are. These are all of the prints that I've done in the past on. Most of these are done on a Form 2 printer. And then I've just done some. Here, let's speed it up. Done some. Thrown some primer on there and sanded them a little bit. Yeah. Here's Mickey. Pretty slow. Yeah, a lot of them are done on the Pixelogic live stream. So you can go back and watch that pirate girl. You can watch the Mars mouse with the big huge knife. Yeah, there's a close-up of him. How fun is that, right? Close up of this. See, you can see some of the support. I just need to go in there and just knock them back with sanding. Yeah, these little dots and these little dots. Yeah, I should take the time and knock those down. Yeah. How fun is that, right? I love the what is that called? Depth of field on these. Yeah, they look like tiny pimples for sure. See, like this one right here, like all these little guys here and there. Yeah, mostly on the back because that's where the supports are, you know. And then this one has more marks and dings and stuff that would need to be filled. So, yeah, I love yeah, you can see some of these marks and scratches and things. I usually fill those with it's called Milliput. So yeah, you can see all the dots along the barrel right there. Anyway, yeah, a lot of fun. So thank you, Derek, if you're watching. Thanks for that. They're super cool. And then back to Dracula, blah. Looks like a thumb or a finger or something. I want to make his head up here really narrow because it's funny. Hey James, you're not late. I just started maybe 9 minutes ago. Let's get that head shape. Now, I just reached out to Adam yesterday because I have filament in my printer. I've been printing with, I have a Bamboo Labs A1 printer, and I have white filament, and I have this filament that I got from Hobby Lobby called wood. It's like full of wood, I guess. And the color of it kind of looks like bone. So I'm like, hey, Adam, would you want to draw a couple of skeletons? Because he loves to draw skeletons and skulls and stuff. So I'm like, hey, would you want to draw a skeleton up that I could then 3D print in these two colors? So all the teeth would be like a white, you know, and the bone would be kind of wood colored bone. Sorry, I missed my lunch. Okay. So, hold on a second. Let me just finish. I'm going to mute this. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that's the one that does the little poops. So it's a multicolor, and every time it switches color, it's a filament printer. Every time it switches color, it has to kind of squeeze out a little bit of the last color to make sure it's clear. And it pushes it off to the side and makes little poops. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to change over to Sculptus Pro and turn off adaptive size, and then check the size here. Oh, I got dynamic on. Don't crash. Okay, turn off dynamic. That's probably too dense. There we go. That's good. Let's go ahead and flood fill this with that geometry there. Typically when I'm roughing out faces like this, this is kind of the density that I look for. Something like this, or maybe a little tighter, but pretty close to this. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this color. It's kind of like it's pale, but it's also not white, you know? So that's interesting. Let's block in that giant nose just so we can kind of get an idea of where that's at. And I have this primitive brush, and it comes with this appendage. And if I put it right in the middle and grow it out straight and then push it back in, it'll kind of make that needle shape. like this. Hey, Corbel Blurp, how's it going? All right, and then I just want to push the end of that nose into the face. And I think it needs to be much higher, like this. And then we'll bend it down, like aim it down here in a second. And that will fill it with that same kind of geometry there. It's a little too quick on the smooth brush. Turn the Z intensity down on that. Also, are any of you excited for the ZBrush Summit this year? I know it's not in person, but they're going to have it online, and I'm pretty excited about that myself. I'm going to split this nose off just so I can bend it down a little bit. So we're going to grab this bend curve and add a couple points, and then bend it on down like a carrot. I should probably cut off the bottom a little bit or smooth it out. And I can also scale this tip down and this one down. There we go. That's feeling better. Then when you're done, you can just click this gear and say accept. And you can no longer edit those points, but you can sculpt on it. Okay. Looks like I got a little dot on the face here. What is going on with that? So sometimes if you do get a dot like this, like some weird, sometimes it happens, it'll give you a weird thing. Let's save it first. Let's see, Adam, Munoa, Dracula 01. I didn't know there was a summit this year. Yeah, there's going to be. I must have missed it last year. I'm always excited when summits come around. It's like a holiday. It is. So yeah, the ZBrush Summit is going to be held online this year. They're going to do a sculpt off, and the sculpt off rules are already posted. You can go find them. Just look up ZBrush Summit Sculpt Off 2025, and you can find them. I don't know if I'm going to be doing the sculpt off, the general one, or if I'm going to be doing a live sculpt off, kind of a, you know, with other sculptors that do ZBrush live like I'm doing right now. I need to figure that out. I'm going to crank this down a little bit and then kind of try and get rid of that. There it goes. Okay. I hate when a song has good rhythm, but the lyrics are crap. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You know, that happens more in the 80s than anything, to be honest. I often think to myself, what in the heck are these lyrics? Shane, I feel difficult when I'm sculpting an eyelid on the eyeball of the character. I'll probably be putting eyelids on this guy soon. So if you stick around, you'll see how I do mine. Okay, I'm not sure why it is working, just not fast enough. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the eye sockets, and then it happens right now. Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying it happens quite often in the 80s. It's like, what? I'm a child of the 80s, so that's kind of what I still listen to. It's the hallmark of the millennial and Gen Z music. Yeah, maybe I don't listen to that stuff too much. occasionally. Okay, I'm going to use H polish and just kind of hit the sides of these. I'm going to turn off Sculpt just for a minute. I don't want to go too heavy with it. And just kind of make this a triangular. Where's my symmetry? Neil, I knew it. I knew it. I felt it. Okay, that's feeling good. Hard to avoid, yeah. It's true. Okay, let's see. I think I want to go ahead and join these two together. So I'm going to do a merge down. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a, I always forget that it's in this menu, remesh by union really quick. And then hit accept, and this time I remember symmetry. Okay, so when you do a remesh by union, it will stitch these two together. You can see the stitch right there. I'm gonna hit Control W just so these are both in the same poly group. Let's add a little more here, and then I can use Sculptus Pro just to kind of blend that in, like so. And then let's go ahead and push in these, let's use move, push in these eye sockets. Somewhere around here. Might need to mirror and weld the nose. It's a tad off on one side. Is it really? Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I like this side better than this side. It does look like Olaf. It's funny you say that. I sculpted Olaf for Disney Infinity. He was a lot of fun. And my buddy Hiram Osmond animated him for Disney Feature. If you're interested in learning how to do animation, Hiram does some really cool master courses or mentorships. I don't get that wrapped up in it, auspicious. I guess that's probably why I just listen to the older stuff that I like a lot. Okay. I mostly listen to like 80s alternative or new wave, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of my jam. And most recently I listened to synth pop. Not synth pop. Synthwave? Synthwave. Like the Midnight. And Gunship. Have to flip image to sculpt this? What do you mean? You'd have to flip this or to the other side, you mean? Must be my brain. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. You could do that. I always find it easier to sculpt from an image that is looking 3/4 to the right. You mean to the left? Like opposite of this? Or he's facing? I don't know. Okay, Neil, let's do a mirror and then mirror and weld. There we go. Back in business. It's probably bugging you, huh? Okay. So let's put the eyeballs in there. I love how he's got these yellow eyes with like red irises. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this color, this weird yellow color. Let's make them about this big. That's funny. All right, split unmask points. Yeah, I got you, Mr. Pobbs. I know what you're saying. Are you left-handed by chance? I just wondered if that has anything to do with it. I'm right-handed. And usually I like things facing to the right. Yeah, it started as a seagull. Mine. Okay, and I love these purple eyelids. They're so fun. And these eyebrows that kind of stick off of the surface of his his face. Okay, I want to crease this some more. Which is better, sculpting a real maquette and scanning it, or doing it all digitally? Well, I'm a little biased myself. I've only really sculpted digitally, so that's all I know. But I'm sure if you were to ask my friend Jerome, he would say differently. Although he's getting good at digital, so he's just up. I mean, sculpting is sculpting, no matter how far. That's a good question, though. It'd be something. It'd be an interesting one to ask either Jerome or like Damon Bard or somebody who started out as traditional sculptor and has become a digital sculptor. Okay, so someone was asking about eyelids. This is how I like to do it in ZBrush anyway. Here, let's grab these eyeballs and fill them with this color, and then I'm gonna grab like this purple. So you can see I have it loaded right there. Okay. And then if we turn on transparency, you can see the entire eyeball all the way through the face. And the reason I do that is because when you use this topology brush, the topology brush will ignore the stuff that's hidden. So if I draw on the eyeball like this, let me do kind of an arc. Make it like this, and then continue around. You'll see that this line sticks to the surface of the eyeball and it ignores this face. And then I like to just basically just put a slab, almost as if you're doing it not digitally. If you're just doing it with real clay, this is kind of how I would do it. I would roll out a piece of clay and lay it on the eyeball like this. Get the feeling that creators have more fun with the hands-on approach. Yeah, for sure. But with clay, you can't hit undo when you make a mistake. That is also true. So when I was at Disney, we hired a guy. Trying to remember his name. I want to say Darren. What's his name? Help me out, Neil. Do you remember his the Star Wars guy? What was his name? He's a traditional sculptor, and we hired him to come help us figure out the look and feel of Disney Infinity in the beginning. And I just remember him he made like Darth Vader for us. And then the art director was like, okay, can you scale down his neck or something like that? I don't know. Anyway, it took him slicing the entire thing in half in order to do it. In ZBrush, you would just like move it. Hold on. I want to show it to you. It might be... Well, you can kind of see it here. It's this right here. I don't know if you can see that image. This is a real sculpt of him. This is where we ended up. And these are a bunch of concept artist drawings all through here. But anyway, that's kind of it. Okay. So once I have this drawn, let me hide this so I can see the chat. Yeah, you need to heat up Siobhan. Yeah, for sure. But you know, I'm kind of, I'll tell you this, I love the crafty part of things too myself, and I love like 3D printing and feeling my, you know, I love to have my creations in my hands like a 3D print. That's why I was showing you those 3D prints before. And I also love to paint. So I want to, I'm getting back into painting. I used to do it a lot in the 90s, but now I want to get crafty. It sounds like Rick from Rick and Morty, get swifty. Anyway, I want to get crafty and paint my 3D prints. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why I started that Sculpt school, is because I want to focus more on 3D printing and painting the prints, and then teaching people how to do it. So, okay, let's see. Come on. I'm just turning my draw size to 1, and look how many tries. It's still not doing it. Come on. Just do it. There it goes. And then split unmask points. Okay, and that will give me a single-sided surface. This is the new eyelids. And basically I can, hey Raphael, will there be new characters on your school page in the future? Absolutely, I actually just barely did a poll. If you were in the school, I'll show you. I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes. So this is my school. It's called Sculpt School. And I just barely put this poll up here. And I was asking people which female they would like to use for new training that I'm doing. And it's between these 3. So, yeah. It's on its way. Okay, so I'm going to turn dynamic and then add some thickness. But anyway, Raphael, we'd love to have you. This is the first time I've said this, but I think as soon as we hit 500 people in there, I'm going to raise the price. So if you want the price that it's at right now, I'd hop in there. Okay, where's my custom? Let's uncrease all and turn this off. There we go. And we're going to crank this up a little bit. Hey Wexter, how are you? Yeah, join us. There's nothing quite like having a finished product that you can hold in your hands. Absolutely. Okay, so now that we have this, we can turn this off. Wexter, I got to show you the videos that Derek just sent me. He sent me a turntable of my characters. They're so fun. I'll show them again here in a second. Okay, I'm going to give him some lower eyelids as well. But for now, that's essentially how I make my upper eyelids. I'll make them asymmetrical eventually. Darren Marshall, thank you, Neil. Darren Marshall, who did I say? He's hilarious too. Okay, I'm gonna cut this in. Give it a bit of a valley down by the eyes. And Wexter, you were talking about females. Let's let's talk about it. Maybe send me a version, like a blank of one of your models, and I'll take a look. There's probably a handful of little tweaks you could do. Okay, let's well, here, I'll show you those videos one more time. The video. I gotta find it. There it is. All right, check this out. So Derek Jackson, he works for Lychee. He does most of the YouTube videos for Lychee. He's also a photographer, and he has a turntable, and he made some videos of some of my 3D prints. I'll just quickly go through these so you can see them, because the turntable's quite slow. Whoops. There you go. And this Mars mouse I did during a live stream, one of these ZBrush live streams, so you can go back and watch it if you want. Same with this pirate girl. If you want to watch me create her, you can. This is a Mickey that I did for Qfigs. It was printed at the ZBrush Summit by my friend Thomas. Yeah. There's just some more close-ups of these. Really fun. I love the fall off. Depth of field. Yeah, this is Kate from No One Lives Forever, a video game. Anyway, and I teach how to make her. Well, that was my very first course, like 8 years ago. Hey Maha man, how's it going? Over the past few days, I've been more in the design phase. I have a couple of ideas I want to bring to life. I'll post them once I find something I kind of like and start sculpting. Sweet. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Okay. Let's get his mouth kind of blocked in here. And he's got a chinny chin. No One Lives Forever. Yeah, that old it's like James Bond is a female game. You guys remember that game? I'm probably old, so this girl right here. So it's basically this one right here. This is an old 90s game. If you go to my ArtStation, you can see a better render of it. This one. So that's my version of it. And then I did a different pose that's like a game character. So this is her as a game character. Yeah. Trying to remember how to move the light around. There it goes. Zoop. Yeah. You still have your PS2 copy? Awesome. Yeah, Monolith, actually, when I posted it, Monolith liked it, so they've seen it, which is cool. Actually, before I get started on the mouth, I'm going to put this little nostril in there. I get sidetracked, you guys. Talking about stuff. I could talk about stuff forever. Pull this out, up and forward. Do you use an OLED monitor for this work. Any burn-in issues? I don't know if I have an OLED, and I don't think I have any burn-in issues. I don't have anything like on the screen, I guess, except for my interface on the screen for too long. Okay, I'm gonna solo this and just get H polish out and just kind of rub it on the surface. Oh, what I was gonna say is the ZBrush Summit, I'm gonna be giving away some Sculpt School memberships. So yeah, I'm gonna give away a handful of them. So if you watch, you could win. Just like I've given away some 3D character workshops in the past. There are a lot of static icons on the sidebars. Are you talking about in ZBrush? Like all of this stuff? Yeah, I don't really have burn-in issues with that, but I don't have ZBrush open all day long either. This is I'm using a Cintiq, an older Cintiq. It's not even a 4K. It's like a 2K, 27-inch 2K Cintiq. I've had it for a while now. Okay, now I'm going to flip back to the face so I can kind of dig in the smile line for the nostril to fit into. That's too much. And thanks, Neil, for that, by the way. Evil never dies. I forgot about that. It's been a long time since I played that game. It's always interesting to see how you choose to interpret 2D cheats that sometimes occur. Yeah, you know, I kind of just... Yeah, like this jaw down here is different from this one, you know? It's like, what's the best way to interpret that, you know? Well, the human eye can't see much above 4K, so I don't usually like jump on the next resolution bandwagon. Only if it's noticeable to my eye. Let me see here. Just gonna kind of dig that in a little bit. And then mask this off. And then use the gizmo to kind of pull it up into there. Whoop, like that. Okay. I'm going to leave this separate and floating for a little while. And then, because I want to bring that center of the nose down, and I think what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use this fill brush right here. Kind of fill this in. This is acting strangely with my symmetry. I still have a Cintiq 13 HD. Yeah, those are good for storyboarding, but not as great for sculpting. You can still do it. It's just not quite as good because with ZBrush, you can see there's a lot of real estate taken up by buttons in the user interface. Let's see. Yeah, that symmetry was really strange. I'm gonna do a save next. I don't understand these people who want to do an 80-inch or 100-inch screen. Yeah, there's no reason for that. I like them for playing games, but not for sculpting. I have an ultra-wide Samsung above me, so you know, like above my Cintiq, and I love that thing for games. It's great, and also for video editing, it's really nice. Okay, let's see what is going on here. This is what I want to do. Kind of want to raise that up. And then I'll blend these nostrils into this nose here in a little while. Let me go back to this. I think I can show you. This is my Sculpt School, and I asked people to show their setups. Here's mine. This is what it looks like. So I'm on a Cintiq like this, and then I have this ultra wide above it, like that. I really like it. You could run a competition within Sculpt School to design a Sculpt School t-shirt and give them away at conference. That'd be cool. Or have a QR code on the site for them. Yeah, I was thinking about something like that because, as you know, inside Sculpt School there are different levels like that you can reach based off of your let's see, what am I trying to say? Under these leaderboards, so you can see all these different levels, and you can reach different levels, and it's really cool because it's based off of people liking your posts and interactions and stuff. So you can't just like spam likes and stuff to and expect for your scores to go up. So it just kind of pushes you towards helping people out and posting good stuff, which is really cool. I really like it. Incentivizes you. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Man, I'm having a hard time today. Old man kicking in. Trying to find a new keyboard. You need a degree now with these feature switches. Yeah, I just want a keyboard that's like that I can type on. The one I have now I got because I wanted to be able to switch between, like, I have a Mac and a PC, and this keyboard works for both of them, and I can switch between both. It even works for my iPad too. It's a Logitech, I can't remember, Craft or something. I can't remember the name of it, but it works pretty well. But the letters are rubbing off. Yeah, Neil, I know. Okay. So now that I have this going on, I'm going to get this down here. And then I'm going to give him a mouth cavity, I think, and then close his mouth over the top of it. And I'm trying to think if that's what I want to do. Maybe. Let's block it out first and see what it gives us. It's just really small lips down here. I need more geometry, obviously. Yeah, I just kind of like to, this is almost like a sketch. Just kind of draw it out, you know? And then this mouth goes clear up here. But I don't think I want to pull it out. I want to push it in. Something like this. And then just kind of a mouth curve like right here. See, I'm going back over it with smooth just to kind of clean up the faces that it kind of stretches out when I go to pinch. I don't have Sculptris Pro turned on my pinch brush because it kind of goes against, you don't want to pinch and generate new geometry at the same time. I love how he has these like pursed lips. Reminds me of oh, what is his name? Tim Curry on I keep thinking of the songs. What's the name of the movie? Transylvania. These lips. And then let's see if we can pull a chin out. Actually, I'm going to mask it off and then pull it out. I hardly ever do that trick, and I should do it more. So, I heard rumors that a merch tab is coming soon to school. And if that's the case, then I'll definitely be making some merch. Okay, so let's go ahead and just use inflate and just kind of see what happens here. Might be a little too much, but we'll have to. Yeah, an it, not an it. No, what is it called? Clue, no. Why is it? It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember it. Rocky Horror Picture Show. There it is. Okay, let's see. Turn smoothing way down because I just want to increase the geometry in here where it's all stretched out, but I don't want to really, I'm going to, but I don't want to lose the pinching as much. Okay. Same with up in here. I just want to get a little more geometry to help me out. Yeah, we'll just go over this again. That's kind of the, it seems like my world these days. Just do to redo over and over and over. Okay, so again, we can just use this. Just kind of lightly go over this. See, it still kept the pinch there. It just kind of roughed it up a little bit, not too bad. There we go. Okay, I think once we get his mustache in there and his brows and his hair and all that going on, I think it'll start to come together. Okay, here's a trick with the fill brush. This is something fun you can do is you can hold down the Alt of fill and it will become a scrape brush. So if I hold down Alt, see this little peak running right down here. I just want it to go from this line and go flat. I don't want it to peak out and then go flat. So I'm going to run that fill brush right down the edge of this and just kind of scrape it away as if it was a real scraping tool from real clay. And then I can build it up over here. It's pretty fun. Scruncho, that is a custom brush. You can get it one of two ways. I have it in my Sculpt school, and I also you can grab it at 3dcharacterworkshop.com. Either place. At 3D Character Workshop, it's free. Sculpt School, you got to join to grab it, and that's my latest. My latest is under at Sculpt School. Let's see, I just want to show you guys. Yeah, you won't see all this stuff. Whoa. See, this is my Sculpt School. This is the main feed here. But if you go to Classroom, this is the newest course right here, and these are my brushes right here, and those brushes come with this. Yeah, these are some courses that are on their way. There's some classic courses and some new ones and all sorts of stuff. Stello. Thanks. I have to give credit to SK. SK is another streamer on here. He's the one who invented it, and then I just kind of massaged it to be what I wanted it to be. But it started as his brush. Smooth these out a little bit. I love his little mustache and his little beardy. Okay, let's get these eyebrows happening. Actually, let's trying to decide what I want to work on next. Maybe the lower eyelids, because that'll really make him look like this. I'm gonna do it the same way. I'm just gonna draw it on. I was gonna build it up, because usually on lower eyelids I like to build them up, but this one, these are so unique and they pop out so much that I'm just gonna do it the same way and keep them separate objects. And when I'm not talking, this goes really quickly. But when I'm yapping, it takes a while. The way you dial in your brush is so helpful. I feel like my lines are more intentional, if that makes sense. Yeah, it does. Not overreacting to pen pressure. That is the tuning that I really like to do. to be honest. Okay, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. I want to just give these thickness. And get up to a 4. Let's do a save next. Save your stuff, kids. Okay, let's curl this up here like this and make it meet. Let's uncrease all. That's what I wanted. Okay. Just take some tuning after that. I want to tuck this up underneath the upper eyelid. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to add this little line to represent eyelashes. I'm going to do that in a similar way. Let me look at this geometry first. Okay, I can't really use that unless I duplicate it and then I crank down. Let's crank down the subdivision level so it's just like this and then hit apply. And now that's going to give me this bottom plane of faces. And then if I go to select lasso, I can just isolate those bottom faces and then delete hidden. So I just have this. And then I know that that's going to go right along the edge of the eyelids because that's what made those eyelids. So now I can turn on dynamic and then add thickness like this. Make sure there's no creases. And then crank up the subdivision levels. We can reduce that thickness. I want it to have thickness, but just not that much. Okay. And also, thanks everybody for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I know there's probably a million other things you could be doing. Thanks, Neil. Yeah, it's easy to, if there's geometry that's already there that I can use, I would much prefer that than trying to make something from scratch. There we go. Luscious eyelashes. I think I do want to skinny him up a little bit though. Otherwise, he looks a little bit too feminine. He's feminine, but not that feminine. Okay. Okay, let's give him some ears, those awesome elven elven vampire looking ears. Those will be tricky. Okay, I gotta sit and think about how I want to make those things. Because there's like a pretty big overlap on the front. And kind of this whole thing. So I think I'm just gonna do what I always do and just start with a sphere. Actually an appendage. And I'll just kind of pull them out like this. And done. Quick question, do you tend to use Sculptris Pro more often now or only with certain brushes? With some brushes like Smooth, Sculptris Pro sometimes messes with the surface for me. Yeah, it does. You just kind of have to know how Sculptris Pro is going to respond and kind of how it deals with some things and then work around that is what I typically do. But you're right, it will totally mess with your stuff. especially if you saw me, I was kind of sneaking around these creases that I'd put in there because it would totally destroy it, right? Neat trick with the eyelashes. Thanks. Glad you liked it. Okay, so with this, I think what I want to do is this knife cut brush and just kind of cut them like this. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try it out. Okay, so in theory, let's see. Okay, that's their own thing. Okay. Let's see if I can cut this off the front. Yeah. Let's turn off dynamic subdivisions. I just want to keep the purple and get rid of the other polygroups. So I'm going to hide all of those. Let's turn on double so you can see what I'm working with here. And then I'll do delete hidden. And then I kind of don't dare. I sort of wanted to, I wanted to remesh this, but going from this wide of a thing down to this narrow of a thing, the ZRemesher has a really hard time. Excuse me. Nope, Bobby, you're right on the money. It struggles with that sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna hit same, and then we'll just see what happens. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, I'm okay with that. So now we're going to fine tune this. Bring this into the head. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off the back. Like so, and leave the front showing. Because what I want to do is use this move brush and kind of push this front back, revealing the back. You can even smooth it down. No, Sculptus Pro. Just kind of smooth this out a little bit. And then you can kind of see it has that cut out shape right there. So there's a couple things I can do. I wish this geometry was a little bit better, but I could like literally delete these faces to make a hole, like punch a hole in here. Maybe I will. Let's try it out. Z modeler. Let's do delete and just go bonk, 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 and delete those. And then we can just, it helps if you make the sound. And we're just going to use that as the notch. Thanks, Mr. Pobbs. Yep, I saved not too long ago, but I'll save it again. Save it again, Sam. Okay. So now that I have this, I am thinking and hoping that I can add dynamic subdivisions and thickness, and it will do the thing. Let's add more thickness. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of do something strange, I think. I want to add a filler in here because, you know, this isn't how ears work. So, but I do want this, I want the folds that I have, they're working for me. But if you look like this, it's like a weird tube thing, right? So, what I want to do is just kind of make I'm going to insert a normal ear in there and then just kind of merge it with this one and work it out. Yeah, I do like what it's looking like though, like from this angle. See, it's kind of representing that. Where'd the eyelashes go? That's a good question. Where did they go? Were they part of this and I deleted them? I don't know. John, where did they go? They just left us. Okay, we're gonna have to make them again, I guess. Oh my gosh, it didn't take long to make them. But yeah, they're gone. Okay, let me finish this ear first and then we'll go address that. All right, I gotta stretch for just a second. Ugh. Some advice for you. Don't sit too long. I have a little mini trampoline in my office that I have to get up and go bounce on that thing for a little bit. Just to get my systems moving. So walking is best. Jumping on a mini trampoline is second best. Yeah, Neil, I think you're right. I think they went away when I hit delete hidden. I think I must have drawn these ears in on the eyelashes is what I'm thinking. And then when I deleted those pieces, it deleted the eyelashes with it. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, it's fun. We have a big trampoline outside. I don't use that as much as my kids. I'm just trying to shape this a little bit better. Bring it out more. I just want to reveal the back part of the ear a little bit more. Okay, let's get a filler in there. Like I said. Nope, not that. This. Okay. Yeah, except for my grandson broke his leg on it. That's no fun. No fun for anyone. Yeah, I'm just kind of putting this in there as the inner ear, I guess. Not the inner ear that's in your head, but the inner ear that's in your ear. Yeah, trampolines are dangerous. For sure. Especially when you jump on it with more than one person. That's the problem. My son was jumping on there with my grandson, and he came down too hard and made a hole in, like a dent in the trampoline, and my grandson's foot came down into it and hit and just tweaked his leg just right and broke it. It was not a good time. Oh yeah, this was several years ago. He's mended. Let's do delete lower. Neil. For my next trick. Okay, I'm going to blend these together. But I want to cut this out. Just kind of make that interior cup on the inside there. Oh gosh. There it goes. Save often. It always happens when I'm using Sculptress Pro. I got to tell Paul about that. Whenever I'm using Sculptress Pro, I don't think I had dynamic on. I guess we'll see. Because dynamic plus sculptress is a evil combination of things. Let's see where quick save got us. Probably not close. No, this is a long time ago. Okay. Let's load my latest save and see where I left off here. Oh gosh. I lost my inner ear. All right, well, I'll make this thicker anyway. Gosh dang it, ZBrush. Come on. Let me load my texturing again. It's kind of like playing Dark Souls. You're going to get killed. When you do, you just load it up again. All right, John, side note, loving the school. Awesome. I'm plugging away at the model. We'll share progress soon. Thanks so much for the class. Awesome. So great to hear, John. Thanks for that. I always wonder if I made the right decision, you know? Because I used to sell my course for like $700 and now it's like $27 a month. And I don't understand. I would think more people would be flocking to join it, but I guess not. And I'm trying to figure out why. Maybe you guys can tell me. Is it because it's a monthly thing? I'm not sure. Because I have 2,000 people that bought my 3D character workshop. That's quite a few people. Yes, it's over the course of 8 years, but still. I don't know if it's just because people feel like they've learned all they need to learn from me, they don't need any more, or because it's 3D printing focused, or it's just all these things going through my head. Like, what is it? But essentially, I wanted to create a space where anybody could come sculpt characters and hang out. It's like a community, you know? It is a community, not just a course. Community first, course second. Courses, there's going to be several. And just a place to hang out and have fun. I used your skill in Blender because it's so cool and amazing. Oh, thanks, James. It also just takes time for people to become aware of it. It does. I think there's a lot of, that's a big thing. Is I was thinking about running some ads to it actually. Because I feel like because the people that have joined really like it. And I have pretty, very, very low churn, I guess it's called churn. I wasn't that familiar with that term till this. Churn just means like people coming and going. Because it is a membership, so you can come and go as you please, you know. Let's see, save as. I'm going to save next because I don't want to lose this again. Okay, I'm going to hit apply. So dynamic is gone. And then I'm going to go delete lower. That's a lot of subdivisions. Okay. So we're good there. It's interesting. I have some really, there are some industry pros interested too. And that's really exciting to me. Like some 3D printing pros. Never heard it called churn. Yeah, people churning in and out is kind of what it's called in the industry. Psycho Crazy Animations, how's it going? Turnover, yeah. There we go. I like that. Apple turnover. Turnover. Okay, let's combine these. Okay, yeah, even though you can't see that in the concept, I'm going to probably just merge them together. We'll apply this. Delete lower. I'm going to go down one. Okay, and then, so we have these and these. Let's do a fill with this color, fill with this color, merge it on down. And then do a save as again. Okay, we're saved. Churn, yeah, churn is more in I think in membership language, and I think turnover is more in like businesses and employees and things, you know. Let's see. I need to go to Stroke Sculptor. I have to do this every time. A little lower. I think your sculpt school is a good idea, Shane. I think focusing on 3D printing has been getting more popular and now affordable, and surprisingly it's still in its infancy. Yeah, and it's I think the biggest thing is that it's fun. Like, it's so much fun. I printed out my Lion-O in, like, I bought, okay, so I have a Form 3, which is a resin printer, and the costs are coming so far down and the quality just keeps going up. So when I was at Disney, we had a Envision Tech, and it was like $80,000. And now I have a Form 3 that was like, I think at the time it was like 4,000, which is still way expensive for a home use printer, right? But now you can get like little photon, like any cubic photons for like, I don't know, 300 bucks or something. You can print out little minis and figurines and all sorts of stuff on there, and they're really super high quality. And then, but it's still very toxic, you know? And it just makes a lot of odors, and it's sticky, and it's just not fun for as far as that side of things go. The print quality is phenomenal, but it's toxic. And I recently picked up a Bamboo, and a Bamboo is a filament printer. I shied away from the filament printers for so long because you could just completely see the layer lines, and they weren't the best for characters, right? But recently, the filament printers have become so good that they're getting really close to resin printing, and they're still toxic, but not in a way that a resin printer is toxic, right? So, yeah, right, Bobby. Yeah, you can find something like that for super cheap. And then you can get ZBrush on the iPad for 80 bucks a year if you just get the iPad version. I recommend the desktop version because it also comes with Redshift. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it came with Redshift. And if you get it on the desktop, it comes with both the iPad and the desktop version. So it's a pretty good deal, you know, especially for even if you're a semi-pro or a hobbyist, it's still pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to merge these together. But yes, it's been very fun for me. It's like it brings the craft back into it, you know? So you can do your digital sculpting, and then you can do the 3D printing, and that's like hands-on. It's fun. Even though a machine is doing it technically, you still have to know some stuff, you know, like all the technical bits and bobs as far as the printer goes and how it all works. And then especially when you get into painting. When you get into painting, then it becomes very, very crafty. And I like that a lot. Okay. So now I'm going to combine these. Symmetry's back on. And just kind of blur them together. Yeah, and recently I met Wexter. Wexter was just on here. I don't know if he still is, but yeah, he makes his he makes a whole bunch of really cool designs on his filament printers. He's been doing it for a very long time. And it's just got me all giddy like a kid. It's really fun. Oh, I got something to show you. So Derek printed out my Lion-O in resin. Okay, I'm gonna have to deal. I like that. It's like you're not here. Okay, shush. I'm gonna show him your. So Wexter printed out Lion-O on his printer. Wexter, was that a bamboo? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Because I remember the logo going by. Zoot zoot zoot. Yeah. Okay, you can actually see it if you go over to the school about page. Sorry, I don't mean to keep pitching this school. I'm just excited about it. But if you yeah, if you go here, you can watch it. Look at this. So that's a bamboo. This is I think it's it's the same inner workings that I have, but I think this is in a case. But check this out. So you can still see the layer lines, but they're so much smaller than they used to be, you know? And these tree things, these are supports. But yeah, it's so much fun. So cool. And that's this guy right here. Whoops. This guy. And I teach you how to make this guy in a course inside of school, and I teach you how to do the keys for it and slice it up for either resin or filament printers. It's super fun. Bamboo X1C. There you go. Thank you so much. I got to show you. So Derek printed these out in colored resin. So look at this. Yeah, so this is resin, but I don't know why I don't know if he put like a different kind of a ink or something in there. I've only ever printed with gray resin, but I can't believe the patina on this claw. It looks super cool. And I don't know if that's part of the resin. I would assume it was, but yeah, it looks really cool. That's how big it is. So he's going to print out, he printed out this small one. He's going to print them out bigger. So anyway, that's a lot of fun. Okay. I keep getting sidetracked, you guys. Okay. Where are we at? Let's do his eyebrows. And then we'll put in, we'll get those, well, let's do the eyelashes first. They went away. We got to bring them back. Poor eyelashes. Oops. There we go. So I'm going to duplicate these. Yep, I just did. Just did. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, because these eyelids, they're just a single-sided plane like this. So I'm going to turn on dynamic subdivisions, turn off the subdivisions, leave the thickness, and hit apply. And then what that does is it gives me the thickness, and then I can use these faces across the bottom. I've already done this once, but ZBrush crashed, unfortunately. So I'm going to isolate these faces, delete the rest. Okay, and then I can turn dynamic back on, which will give me thickness again, but I'm going to turn the subdivisions back on. And here we go. And let's reduce the thickness on these. And then kind of push them into his head a little bit so they're not so thick front to back. Okay. And let's make them black, or at least a dark blue. There we go. So much better. I want to rename these lashes. Okay, let's give him some eyebrows. That'll really make him look more like this dude. So let's grab the Z modeler brush, and we're on the head here. Okay, and we go up. Whoops, come on. What's going on here? Topology brush. Up and then hook. Let's try it one more time. You want to make sure you have a very small brush when you use this topology brush, because it's going to give you these dotted lines like this. Here, let's do it one more time. And I don't want to get too close to this line, because if I do, sometimes it will stretch across and touch the other line. So I tend to keep it away, like further than I would want it. And then when you go across like this, you'll notice that, here, let me zoom way in. If I draw a line right down the middle between this black here, and then in the middle of this orange right here, you'll see it'll snap. See, it snaps to the crossing points. So in between the orange and black, that's where it wants to be. And so you'll get a snap like this. And only the green dots matter. The lines don't matter at all. The lines are just giving it a place to make the green dots. So to prove that, I always like to do this, is I like to go like this, and then go across and go up and down and across, and it'll still give me a square like that, but it'll still snap. So I'm just going to go across like this. Okay, that's probably good enough. Maybe I'll give myself a little end here like that. Okay, and then I can clear all these off. 0.2 layer height, and the nozzle was a 0.4. I'm surprised you don't use a smaller nozzle. You said that it clogs often, right? The 0.2, because I have a 0.2 nozzle and I've never used it, based off your suggestions. Okay, split unmasked points. Like, does a 0.2 nozzle give you that much better results or no? Okay. Where did they go? Oh, right here. Okay. There they are. So I'm going to turn on dynamic, give it thickness, turn off creases, uncrease all, turn this off. There we go. Okay, now I want them thick down here and thin up here. So this is the reason why I use dynamic thickness instead of real thickness, is because I like to just turn that off. Then I can just manipulate the single vertices. Let me turn off Sculptress Pro just because. Grab, move. We'll just move these points down one at a time to make it thick down here. And then we'll scoot these closer. And then really close at the end here. So it's like a tiny. And then we'll turn on dynamic, and you can see, see, it's a little too thick now. down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, those are fun, but I need to pull them down more, like over his eyes. So if there are eyebrows like that, I will typically make them floating, or make them on the head first, because I need a place to draw them, and then move them down to floating later. Sometimes I'll pull the skin down with it, which you should, because it gives the eyebrows a place to live. Okay. And I made his bridge of his nose way too wide. Need to skinny that up. I think I might have made it wide while I was pulling this down. And then he's got asymmetrical eyebrows and eyes and stuff. So I'll do that later after I get everything in place. Okay, it looks like I got some little things happening here. So to resolve that, you turn Sculptris Pro back on and then you just smooth it out. It'll usually take care of it. Okay. I think I made this inner ear too bulbous. That's a word, right? Bulbous. Just want to smooth it out. No, I want to get rid of this. Just want to mask that off and just kind of, I just want to reduce it. Reduce the bulbousness. Because what I really was after is that inner ear cup right here. I could even kind of pull that out, push this in, smooth it. Okay, I need to save it. I'm like, I felt a disturbance in the force. Like, oh, I should have done it. Okay, let's make these the little nostril details, this little line down here. Not. There we go. Just kind of curl it around right there. Sometimes you'll get these artifacts when using Sculptris Pro. You'll see little tiny triangles kind of coming through and showing the background. That's just kind of the nature of ZBrush and how it works. They're little ghost triangles that aren't really there. And when you go to rotate your model, they'll disappear. But it's kind of annoying that they show up when you're sculpting. You're like, wait a minute, is that true? Yep, John, thanks. I just did. That's fun. Okay. Now let's do... I'm not too crazy happy with those ears, but I think I'm just going to deal with them. So if I turn on perspective, it's still... I mean, they look good. They look pretty good from this angle, but I think I got his nose a little bit too long. So I'm going to mask this off and blur it out. Pushing blur a million times. invert it, and then just kind of shrink it up just a bit. Like that. Yeah, it's a little closer. Okay. And I don't think I'll have time today to add like some of this costuming, but I do want to kind of put his xenomastoid, those muscles, those neck muscles. Just kind of give him a hint that they're there like this. Sterno. I called him Xeno. Not that big. That's better. Just kind of smooth them out. I like to make it look like it's tucked down in his neck. Okay, and then I want to try and just see what I can do about this chin down here to make it look like that or feel like that. Just kind of push it just a little bit. Because it's kind of where the jaw turns. And then make it skinnier down here. I don't see this moving can introduce warbles really easily. So you just got to be super careful and just be patient and do small movements. Small. There we go. See how it kind of shows up when you look at him from the front, but as it starts to roll around the side, it starts to get lost. Now I can do an experiment of kind of pushing it forward like this. That feels more like him, I think. But see, then I made a valley right here that I need to fill. Right there. There we go. I don't know why I'm using a mouse. Those ears are in between a human and a bat ear. They're definitely quite the challenge. I think they turned out well. Thanks, Devere. All right, I'm going to take another bite of this. 1 second. That took longer than I thought to chew. Jeez. Okay. I'm going to try a mask extract for this. But I need more geometry. You can see my mask is it's trying to stick with this lower res geometry. So I'm going to clear that out and add more like this. But I better save it. Might as well fill the whole thing. Okay. Let's save it. No more losing work. Okay. Now that we have more geometry, our mask edge will be cleaner. See that? And then I want it to kind of curl around and go right to the eyebrow point. And then it goes back around another scallop above his ear. Okay. I didn't lose the mask, I just switched to the ear. Because now that I started to do that, I noticed his ear is way too far forward. And probably too big. So I'm going to shrink it down, move it back, twist it, pull it, and move it out. So funny. How low is it? It's about if you follow his lower eyelid across, it's about as high as his lower eyelid. Like that. Okay. I think that'll work. Now, go back to his head. There's the mask. Yep, that's why I said that. Bop it, pull it, twist it. I think we have 3 of those stinking things. Okay, I'm going to hide these ears for a second. And then we have to figure out how it's going to resolve back here. So it's going to go up behind the ear, probably back around like this. Let's get a bigger brush. Just kind of clean that up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to round this out. Well, kind of like it square like that. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, that works. Okay, so what I'm going to do now that I have this masked off like this is they should incorporate a fill button just that you can use to fill your... They actually have one. And I always forget about it. It's, yeah, they have one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do an extraction. Extract. And then I'm going to look at extract. We'll look at that. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. That's the thickness, the smoothness. Maybe crank the smoothness up a little bit. And then hit accept when you like it. Suddenly have the impression that the long pointy nose is because he's a mosquito. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so with this hair, we can fill it with this color. We can clear the mask off this head. Show the hair, and then given these little curly gigs. So what I'm going to do with those curlies, well, let's kind of tune his hair a little bit first. Okay, I'm going to Z-remesh this at a lower level, I think. Actually, I've been enjoying just sticking with Sculptress Pro for the most part. So you can see this is kind of this hollow shell. And if I use Sculptress, let me see if I can just... I'm going to fill this with a different color so I can actually see what I'm doing. Let's fill it with a gray. Okay. And it's kind of tricky because I want these edges to be soft, not super crispy like this. But when I do, it's going to like crunch them really fast. So I need to turn my smoothing way down. And see, even then, I don't know if it's, yeah, that's about what I want right there. Just kind of have to be careful as you go across, not to ruin it too much. That's better. And I'm actually going to put it all in one poly group, so it's not trying to hold on to those. Hey Diego, how are you? Welcome. Okay, let's save this again. So I'm saving so much. I like to use Sculptris Pro, and Sculptris Pro tends to crash. Okay, I'm pretty, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see what it looks like on his head. It's gray. Gray, okay. And I'm going to pull it forward a little bit with my move brush. Just so it's not, just to give it a little bit more volume in here, because I want to kind of pull these out. And give it the little curlies. But see how far apart those curls are? So I need to bring this up and kind of make it square. But I need to keep it smooth at the same time and flow. So it comes up like this. Now I made some valleys right here with this. So I'm going to use the fill brush. Go ahead and fill this in. Okay, now snake hook time. Trying to keep them clean. Oh no, there it goes. Oh my gosh, ZBrush. It seems to crash twice per stream for me. It's always when I'm doing Sculptris Pro. And it's so crazy that it just disappears. That's all right, I saved my hair. So I was just putting in the curlies. Shouldn't be too bad. Yep. Okay. Let me just park this image, turn off spotlight projection, and we're back in the saddle again. Okay, this time for sure. I kind of want to bring this down a little further. Most of the time when you have a crash and you have to do something again, you do it much better the second time. Not all the time, but most of the time. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try and mask this and then just blur it out and then see if I can pull it based off of that mask to reduce the warbles. Okay, let's do Sculptress. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Save it. Save as. I'm going to save this as a different version. Okay. A and E Sports, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm just about going to wrap this up here. Yeah, this is where we're at so far. Well, we got ears too. Ears. Okay, now let's do this for real. Maybe smaller. Here we go. Little horns, looks like. I kind of like them curling to the inside. That's fun. What was the name of the artist that did those Marvel sculpts you shared? Which ones are you talking about, Devere? I'm not quite, can't quite remember. The one with the lightning shoelaces? Are you talking about... Oh, are you talking about the the sneakers? The ones with the sneakers? I'm trying to remember. Tracy Tabera or something? Oh, those need to be bigger. think. Yeah, I can't recall right now. My old man brain doesn't. But man, those are some of my favorite sculpts. I'm gonna give him some redness in his skin. Tracy Tubera, that's it. I was right. Sweet. This makes him look even more like a mosquito. Let's give him some paint on the bottom of his lips. It always helps if you do the top lip slightly darker red than the bottom lip, like Adam has done here. This will give you chunky edges depending on how high of resolution your sculpt underneath is, because this is vertex coloring. I'll probably go back over this area with skin tone, but this is just to put some base color in there. Later, after I like subdivide it and res it up, it'll clean that up. You can also go along it with the smooth brush to blend it. You want like more blended edges instead of 8-bit chunky edges. Do that with this. Like a wolf in sheep's costume. All right, I'm gonna give him these these irises here, these crazy like super pink, like pink orange irises. I'm gonna put them. Well, let's do a save as again. I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna paint them on there. So I'm gonna hit apply and then divide this up a couple times. That's funny. And then I'll just grab a black and do just a little kind of a vertical pupil, not blue. There we go. That's funny. He still needs his mustache and his clothing and all that stuff, but I think it's kind of fun. Good Halloween sculpt, right? Kind of want to add some of this red pink to the sides of his lower eyelid, like that. that's fun. And then I could come in here like Adam has done with this white and just kind of highlight like across the tops and on his forehead right here. So it really gives you that powdery look. Can you please tell me how you paint it or pick color? Because I don't know, I just started a few weeks ago. So the eyedropper is C. C is in cat. And you can eyedrop any of these colors, but if you want to eyedrop a color from your reference image, you have to show this ring, which you hit Z on your keyboard, or Z, bring it up like this, and if it's showing, then you can eyedrop a color. You just have to hover over the color like this. You can see it changing over there on the left. If this ring is not showing, it's just going to grab the blue background behind it. See that? But it will grab the color off your character. So anyway, hope that helps. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up for today, but thank you so much for watching. And as always, if you're interested in learning how to sculpt characters like this, full characters with keying and splitting and all that for 3D printing, I teach it all over on my new community called Sculpt School. So if you want to join me over there, I'd appreciate it. Check it out. The link's in the description. And thanks again for hanging out, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you all next Thursday. All right, take care. We'll see you. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Neil. We'll see you.